See here. So try and catch is something wherein we would like to handle by ourselves. We would like to handle our errors by ourselves without the you can say we don't want the errors which your Java runtime is displaying. So this was an error. This was an error which your Java runtime is displaying. But we would try to, so who is generating this Java runtime errors? It is done by the default exception handler. There is a default exception handler which is created by the Java creators itself, and that default exception handler is trying to handle these errors. Now, we don't want that. We would like to handle our errors by ourselves. Okay. Now, now that means what now? Oh, so why we should do this then? Why we should try to handle our ourselves by why we should try to handle the errors by ourselves. Okay. So first thing is it will help us to fix the error. If there is any error, it will first help us to fix the error. Second thing is it prevents the program from automatically terminating. If there is any error, we can avoid that automatic termination. So what happens usually is most of the users would get confused if the program gets stopped running and a printed stack trace whenever an error occurred. So that means what now? What would happen? Say for example, there is an XYZ user who is trying to who doesn't know Java. You can say who doesn't know Java, and there might be a condition wherein he is trying to run your code. Then suddenly a stack trace will come. A stack trace will come which will print something like this. Then it might so happen that he would be disheartened to see what is it's printing. Usually with us also it happens whenever we are beginners or beginning with the programming thing. When we get any errors, we get disheartened. Array, what is this error which is coming? Okay. So to avoid such things, what we will be doing is we can use our own exception handler. We can use our own exception handler and we can get our exceptions. We can try to get the, we can try to handle the errors. Okay. Now, so how to do this? So to help us doing this, what we will be doing is we just need to enclose our whole program inside a try block. Okay. So what we will be doing is we will be putting our whole code inside a try block, and after the try block we will try to include a catch clause. So this catch clause helps us to identify which is that error. Now to understand this, to give an example how this could be done, let us take the following program which consists of both a try block as well as a catch block, and we are trying to access your arithmetic exception which you have done here in the previous program. Okay. So you can see here you have a class, then there is as usual main, you have defined two variables. Now this is my code wherein I want to test it, if there are any errors in this code. Then whatever the code you want to test, that you just enclose it inside the try block. See here, this has been enclosed inside the try block. Fine. So when you enclose this inside your try block, what will happen is you can generate the following output. Okay. So if you notice your print statement, if you notice the print statement here which is written inside your try block, it never gets executed. See here, system.out.println, this will not be printed. Why this will not be printed? Because we are doing your 42/0. Okay, there is an error. Now this error needs to be caught, right? How do you catch it? With the help of the catch statement. See here, that's why what did we discuss here? As soon as you write a try block, as soon as you end this try block, you should write a catch statement, and inside that catch statement you will be specifying what is the error. Okay. So we will specify what is the error. So once this and we have also put a printing line saying that it is a divide by 0. Okay. Now see here friends, what will happen here is once this catch occurs, once the catch statement has been executed, the program statement will continue with the next line. Okay. Thereby you are avoiding an undefined termination of the program. Okay. Now I hope this is clear. You have a try. You want to check any code, you just put it inside a try block. Then after putting it inside a try block, you put a catch statement. So if there is an error, what will happen now, friends? It will print this, saying that there is an arithmetic exception divided by 0. Okay. It will print this and it will not terminate the program. The execution will not stop. Instead, it will execute and print the next line, which is saying that after the catch statement. See here. So this is very beautiful. That is, we are not terminating the program, we are informing the user as well as we are continuing with the execution of the program. Okay. Now, so a try and catch, whenever, always remember, these two are one team. That means they come together. If I have a try, there should be a catch. Okay. So the whatever the scope of catch is there, it is only restricted to the above try statement. I have a try statement on the above, only that try statement will have the catch statement. Next very important thing is, a catch statement will not be able to catch an exception thrown by another try statement. Say for example, I have some 10 try statements and one catch is there. So this catch cannot catch the try of all the 10 try statements. It will be able to catch only one try statement. Okay. So don't worry, we have something called as nested try statements, which we will study in the upcoming classes. When we go to nested try statements, there is some provisions to avoid this. So for now, you just remember that it cannot catch multiple blocks. It cannot catch multiple blocks. So therefore, you cannot use try on a single statement, right? So you have to avoid it. Next. So what is the most important goal of your catch statement is to resolve the exceptional condition and then continue as if there was no error only. So say for example, what would happen is, here the termination would happen and there would be no further execution. That I want to avoid, that we want to avoid. So if you want to avoid that, you should use your try and catch statement. Okay. Next. So see here friends, it is just elaboration of what all I have explained till now. So once the catch statement has executed, the program continues with the next line in the program until the entire try catch mechanism finishes. So what is the goal of our catch statement? It helps us to resolve the exceptional condition and continue as if the error had never happened. Okay. So this is another small program wherein we are trying to understand your catch statement. Okay. So yeah. So please go through this program. Let me know if you have any doubts. Take some 1 or 2 minutes. Take some 1 minute. Try to understand where is the error happening. Okay. So see here friends, what is happening? Let us try to analyze it one by one. Okay. So first thing is, we have imported a random. We have imported random. Importing random, we have already seen what is the use of random, what are the numbers it is generating, and all those things we have seen in the previous classes. Okay. So and where it is present, all those things we have seen. Next, we have created a class called as handle error. Inside that, we have written a main function. Okay. Next, we have defined our integers. See here, what are our integers? 0, all are 0. A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0, and C is equal to 0. Okay. Next, we have defined a class, and this class R is belonging. Sorry, we have defined an object. This object R is belonging to which class now? Random. Okay. So now see here, we will come inside this for loop. So inside the for loop, what is happening is, it contains two random integers. It contains two random integers, and these two integers are divided by each other, and the result is used to divide the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See here. We are generating two random integers, and the whatever result will come, that will be divided with the value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the final result is put into A, and the final result is put into A here. Okay. So, if either of the division operations, either this division operation or this division operation will create a 0. Say for example, if any one of the division operators creates a 0, then it will cause your divide by 0 error. It will cause the divide by 0 error, and it has to be caught. It has to be caught. Okay. So, if it has to be caught, that means we have a solution. What is the solution? We have to use our team try and catch team. So, that means this whole code must be enclosed inside the try statement, and as soon as the try statement is over, we should include a catch statement. So, this catch statement is what now? If there is an error, see here friends, there is no compulsion that there will be an error. Since it is a random generator which we are using, there could be a possibility that an error may occur. If such an error occurs, we should not stop with the execution there itself. We should continue with the execution, that is further execution. So, therefore, you can see here, if there is an error, then it should print this line. Okay. And set your A to 0, set your A to 0, and continue with the rest of the execution. So, this is very important friends, that how this whole thing happens. And finally, when you print it, you will be printing the value of A. That means, irrespective of whether there is an error or not an error, you will be able to print this line. That is what we are trying to tell here. Okay. So, I hope this is clear. The next is displaying your thing. We will see that in the